Hi guys, welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you're new. My name is Jessica Nicole. I'm a self-published author of YA fantasy romance novels, and in today's video I'm going to be sharing with you guys 4 fantastic female authors in honor of Women's History Month. So if you didn't know, March is Women's History Month, and I hate that I didn't do this video last month for Black History Month, but it's fine, there's always next year. I do have 2 fantastic Black female authors to share with you guys in this video anyway. So without further delay, let's go ahead and hop into this. The first author I want to talk about, well, let me talk to you a little bit about my criteria for picking these authors in the first place. So I pretty much exclusively read from female authors, not on purpose. I didn't even notice it. It's just kind of something I do. I don't know for any particular reason. But most of the authors that I read from are female authors, so I had a pretty wide range of authors to pick from. What I based this on was basically how they portrayed female characters in their stories. So did the female characters in their story fall into any tropes that like irritate me, like the damsel in distress trope or like the silly girl trope, anything like that. And these authors are not guilty of those crimes, so that's why they're on this list. The first author I'm going to talk about is actually the author of the Wilderwood duology. I know I've talked about these books to death, okay, but there's a good reason. They're fantastic. So this duology consists of For the Wolf and For the Throne. These books basically tell the story of 2 sisters sort of torn apart by destiny and how they kind of try to find their way back to each other. So yes, there is romance in these books. I read majority YA fantasy romances, but the true love story in these books are between the 2 sisters, Red and Neve. I especially love how the female characters are portrayed, because Red's in this book too. In For the Throne, Neve is very mature. She acknowledges her faults and things she's done wrong, and she goes on this whole beautiful redemption arc that really softened me to her character, because I did not like Neve at all in book 1. But even in book 1, Red goes out of her way to save her sister. She doesn't let the guy that she has a thing with in this book kind of coddle her and baby her the way he wants to. Like, he's trying to put her in a bubble to keep her safe, and she's having none of it, and I love that. So much girl power in this book. Even like the supporting female characters in these books are amazing. Even the villain in this book, the female villain in this book, is top notch, and I just love these books. They're great. They're like fairy tale galore, amazingness, and just strong, badass female characters in these books, and I highly recommend them. My next book is a standalone, and that is Cinderella is Dead. I talk about this one a lot. I have a reading vlog for this book up on my channel. This one is by Kailyn Byron. I don't know if I said, but these 2 are both by Hannah Witten. This one is by Kailyn Byron. It tells the story of Sophia, who lives in this futuristic dystopian society that kind of feels like medieval times, like rolled into one. I don't know how she did it, but she's an amazing writer. That's how she did it. But Sophia lives in this patriarchal society where girls are basically treated as property, and she's having none of it. So she basically starts a revolution and takes down the patriarchy, and this is the story of that. And that is just girl power personified. I love Sophia. I love how focused she is. I love how brave and selfless and caring she is. This is also a very good book for like reluctant readers or young readers, because it's super fast paced. It moves so quickly, but there's also so much heart in it and so much depth to it, and yeah, I just love this. I'd read this again right now. It's one of those that I'm gonna just read over and over again forever. The next books I'm going to talk about, they're not a duology, but I technically see them that way because they're the only two books focused on these two characters, and they are The Bridge Kingdom and The Traitor Queen. I loved these stories so much that when I listened to them on Audible, I decided I needed to get the physical copies so that I could annotate them, because they're so beautifully done. I love all the politics and the world building, but more than that, I love Laura. She is amazing. Laura was basically raised to be an assassin, sort of. She was really like abused and tortured into her role as an assassin. She's a princess, raised to marry the king of the neighboring kingdom that her father is basically trying to take down. And through all of that, Laura finds her own way, and she finds the strength to make her own choices, and this is just the story of that. The love story in here is immaculate, but the true like shining star, shining beacon in this series is Laura finding her inner strength, because she's a skilled warrior. She's like the best fighter out of all of her sisters, but she finds her inner strength, which actually gives her what she needs to defeat the true monster in her life. And I love these books so much. The Bridge Kingdom and The Traitor Queen. And I highly recommend these. They're not really fantasy, but they feel fantasy to me. And my last book that I want to talk about, it's actually an ongoing series at this point. I read Legendborn by Tracy Deonn. Oh, these two are by Danielle Jensen. I read Legendborn by Tracy Deonn in record time and immediately jumped into the sequel Bloodmarked, which I'm reading right now. This series tells the story of a 16-year-old Bree, a merit scholar, following in her mother's footsteps after her mother's death at the university that her mother attended 25 years ago. 25 years ago, Bree's mom saw something she shouldn't, and it put her on the radar of some dangerous people. And history kind of repeats itself because Bree is put on the radar of these people as well. Instead of running away from her destiny, Bree kind of runs toward it. She faces her fears and faces down literal demons and all kinds of social injustice. And this book, like, the story is so powerful and beautifully told. I love the characters in here. I love the plot. I love the magic system, the world building, and I just love Bree. It's crazy the way that good writing and a solid portrayal of a character can make you love them, and that is why Tracy Deonn is on this list. She has just created a fantastic story, and she is a fantastic female author, and all the female characters in this book, even the ones that are designed for you to hate them, they have so much depth and so many layers to them, and they were written so well. I love Bree, and if your best friend isn't Alice Chen, is she really your best friend? The answer is no. And that's going to conclude this video of 4 fantastic female authors. Let me know if you have any suggestions for more fantastic female authors that write strong female characters. Let me know if you've read any of these books and what you thought of them. And don't forget to like this video, comment, subscribe, and I'll catch you in my next one.